All right, let's go talk to Angelo. It sounds like Angelo might need some, I don't know, some help here. Angelo, welcome to the show. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're excited to talk to you. Give us your story. What's going on?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. Hey, listen, if I stumble in my speech, I got ADD and I'm slightly starstruck. You guys are my two favorite people, so it's, if you guys weren't here, I wouldn't be as far as I am.
Shucks. Well, Angelo, I have ADHD as well, and I'm right there with you. We're going to do our best, brother.
Yep, let's do this.
Awesome. All right, so the deal is I'm a Freemason. Been a couple decades now. I'm in my mid-40s. And, they're a good bunch of people. They have a hard requirement. Everybody thinks they're satanic. They're not. I think that's mainly the Christians and the Catholics. I think that.
Yeah.
They're not. My family's ostracized me for it because I'm Catholic, or I was born and raised Catholic, I should say. I'm not. I haven't been basically since I was 12. But, these guys do more for the community without the name of God than, most of the churches do, or most of the churches say they do, I should say. They're out there feeding people that are hungry. They're taking people and helping them get places, and they don't ask for anything in return. They don't preach. Mm-hmm. But they do have a hard requirement that you need to believe in God. And when I joined a couple decades ago, I told them, I said I was deist. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. However, that hard belief requirement, they every time they initiate a new candidate, and they reiterate that no atheist can ever be a Freemason, and here I am.
Yeah,
that's rough.
I actually got excluded.
It's facing ostracization from 100 friends. If I tell them because I have a kind of a guilty conscience about it, or do I just shut up and keep going? I don't know which way to go with that.
Yeah.
That's really, really rough. I actually have a couple friends whose families were really kind of deeply tied in there. And
the Masons?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they were like, Eric, you should join, because I was doing volunteer work anyway, and they're just like, you'd be perfect fit. And they said, but I said, but do you have to believe in God? Because I wasn't there. And they're like, oh, you just believe in something, just even if it's nebulous. And I was like, I can't. I can't.
That's
I can't.
how it was pitched to me.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah. I can't lie about that. And they were just like, we're so sorry. And it didn't move forward. The fact that is a thing kills me.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, do they have a reason for why they think belief in a God is something that should be required?
Yeah, it's based on, and this is no secret. You can find this on the web. It's based on their history, basically. It's tied into biblical stories that are incomplete, apparently, in the Bible. If you see the Bibles that they have, they're like really old, and they've got a lot more to them than what you see today. But it's their foundation history, and that's why it ties back. But they may start and end with a small prayer at the beginning of and end of each one of the meetings. But whenever they reference, they say either the great creator or the supreme being. They don't actually say God all the time. It's more of like a habit if they do, or slip of the tongue if they do, but usually they kind of like make some comment, some euphemism about a higher power, and that's pretty much where they keep it.
Yeah. So yeah.
They don't push religion either.
Right. And I've got a feeling about this, and let's see if this resonates with you. So with most people who call in who are like, I no longer believe in God, but I love my church, or I love my family, and I would be disowned if they found out. It's a very common thing to have to go through. The Freemason thing is, granted, not as common, but, the concept of losing a community because you no longer believe in a God is pretty universal among the people that I hang out with, at least. And I always say the same thing, which is, this is your decision, right? You should not make this decision either way because of other people. If you find community there and you find love and support there and you want to maintain that, that's a cost-benefit analysis that you have to make by yourself. If they are truly doing good things and helping people and you want to be a part of that, and this is just something you're going to have to sit on, and that is the cost-benefit analysis that you have run in your head, then I respect that, right? The only thing is, in my head, I feel like it would be very similar to somebody who would date somebody with brown hair, as long as it was dyed blonde. And so you're dating somebody and they really like you, and you've been dyeing your hair blonde, and you just hear them talk about how ugly brown-haired people are. And you're sitting there and you're kind of like, I'm so lucky to be with this person, but also if they knew that my hair was brown, they would break up with me and then start bad-mouthing me, and that makes me feel weird. And so would you want to be in that relationship with that person if you knew that they would not like you, or they would not want to associate with you if they knew something crucial and integral about you? And so that really is the sticking point for me, not just in your situation, but in general. Yeah, you can get away with it. Sure, 100%. Should you? There is no ought here. I think it's what you decide you want to do and what makes the most sense to you. But think about the kind of people that you are with and whether or not you want to be surrounded by people who would disown you if they knew something about you, like you had brown hair or you were an atheist. So that's my thought on the matter. What are you feeling about that, Angelo?
Point.
Yeah.
I see your point on that, and it makes a lot of sense. And a lot of these guys do have friends that are atheists, but I think it's let's call it a fear of the unknown, because I don't know what would happen. Mm-hmm. I only know that if they found out, they may say, this whole time you've been lying to us, and that would be the reason they would ostracize, versus, hey, I just kind of, walked away from this, I'm done. I can't be, I can't believe in something that can't be proven,
So if you're thinking about how to broach the conversation, maybe you've decided that you need to have that conversation, but you don't know how. So first tier advice, talk to a therapist about it.
Okay.
Because what a therapist can do is a therapist can get to know you, get to know your specific situation, and get to know the details of the relationships that you have with your friends, and then can help put together a tailored plan for your life, what works for you, and then can actually help you practice having that conversation in a safe place so that you're more ready for it when it does happen. That is tier 1 advice. Tier 2 advice?
Well, there's a problem with that, if I might.
What's up?
Based on the nature of my occupation, if I see a therapist, even if it's for something as benign as that, it opens a book of worms. And I mean a book full of worms, not a can. It causes a bit of a problem. I'd have an awful lot of explaining to do to my company.
Damn.
That sounds like
that sounds like a much
working in government. So.
That sounds like a much more pressing concern.
That is incredibly toxic.
That is horrible.
I've had a few. Well, no, it's just the nature of my work, and I can't get too much into it. It involves working for corporations that deal with government on occasion. So that's why, and they want to know every little thing, and that raises red flags, even if it's benign. It raises red flags, and they ask for a lot of explanations.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of hoops jumping through, so it kind of...
Because you want to have a better sex life.
Oh, my
exactly,
God.
that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I mean, really, honestly.
My 3 wives weren't enough.
Well, I honestly, after 3 wives, that's what you tell them. Why are you going to a therapist? Because I have 3 wives. Do you need more?
They don't know about each other.
Oh, my gosh.
No. So the
You guys are great.
tier 2 advice, which is deep tier 2, is us being able to speak from our personal experience. And I'll tell you that in my personal experience, there are 2 things. Number 1, I really had not realized just how much I'd already talked about my questioning and all of that with the people close to me. And so when I came out to friends as being an atheist, they were like, well, no shit. Like, now you're using a word to describe how you've been frustrated about religion for a while, but cool. But the best way that I found in broaching that was in saying, hey, I'm worried because I value our friendship and I value our relationship. And I've been thinking about this and I've been looking into this and I want to explore it more. And I find that the reason I'm not is because I'm afraid of losing my relationship with you. And I value our relationship. And that scares me. Put them in a position that they don't feel attacked or feel that you are a different person, but the person that they know who is having trouble because they need that relationship validated. And most people, or at least the people who are worth keeping around, will validate that relationship. They'll say, hey, why would you not do a thing because you're worried about me not being your friend? Why would you worry about reading a book because I wouldn't be your friend? And I found that when you lead with what it is, the way that it's affecting you, saying, hey, I'm afraid of losing your friendship because I'm looking at this. And that might be a way of sticking your toes in the water. It's not necessarily saying, hey, I'm an atheist. But if that person says, oh gosh, yeah, if you were an atheist, I'd never talk to you again, I'd start developing friendships with other people.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was easier walking away from Catholicism, to be honest. And I think the reason it's harder also because I've learned this thing called tact, and it makes it a lot harder. When I was 13 years old and I walked away from the church, finally, I literally stood up in church and said, hey, Father, stuck my middle finger up and walked out the back.
Damn.
I was done.
I think I would have got my ass whooped.
That's the worst one.
Holy moly. I don't think I'd be here today.
Like I said, worst beating I ever got.
Yes, yeah.
Buddy.
Well, here's the deal, Angelo. It sounds like you are in a couple of different kind of awkward positions where you know what you need, but you've put yourself in a position, or you have been put there by circumstances outside of your control that are denying you that thing. And whether that's therapy because your job won't allow it, or whether that's, being accepted as an atheist, even though your community wouldn't allow it, it feels like you are kind of in this really uncomfortable liminal middle ground where you're trying to, you're trying to exist without some very important, crucial things that you deserve, frankly, as a fellow human being. I am upset that you do not have access to these things, whether that's, acceptance or, valid medical care. My
rock hard place,
Yeah, no, exactly. It is between a rock and a hard place. And I think that what we can do for you is maybe call Recovering from Religion hotline project, because that's not therapy, and there's no way anybody would know that you called them.
It's just a peer support line.
Yeah. And
I've sent a lot of people to them. Maybe I can give them a call myself.
Absolutely. Yeah. If that is the best way that you can get that third person feedback in a supportive peer environment, definitely avail yourself of that. And we'll make sure that we have links to all of that. If you've recommended people to it, you already know where it is. But yeah, I think that would be a good starting place. But then just sitting with this and being like, what do I need and what do I want? And which is more important to me? And how am I going to go get it? And there might be difficult steps ahead, but if you've made that decision for yourself, then we support you.
And when we say we do mean there's a lot more than just us. The live chat has been very active in talking about it. That just so you know, for people in the live chat who may have answers or may have other resources for Angelo, put it in a comment, and we'll make sure that we like it so it gets up toward the top.
Yeah.
That way those resources can get out and we can aggregate more of them. Angela, you're getting a lot of support from people in the chat as well who are not just
appreciate it.
Yeah, they're not just wishing you well, but they're also sharing their experiences and being in similar places.
Yeah.
I know you would hate for other people to be in the same situation, but at the same time, knowing you're not alone can help.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm going to have to follow up with you guys and let it know how it goes.
Absolutely. Please do. All right. Thanks for calling in.
I'm looking forward to you guys getting into a few more logical debates because, boy, those things are awesome.
Hey,
you guys are like
here's
logic
open.
Geniuses.
No.
Not quite.
Just deeply pedantic.
Which helps.
It's helpful.
Oh, my gosh. All right. Thanks for calling in, Angelo.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
I liked him.
Yeah, he seemed like a good guy.
Yeah.
Oh, man.